Here we go. We're live.
At Smarty, we believe that billing should be boring, and that's
We're live here with cannoli too.
Shall we begin?
Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I'm Michelle and I'm here with my co-host.
Ryan.
Today we're going to tell you whether ChatGPT Pro is worth $200 a month.
Yeah, $200 a month. That's a big old price tag. And I remember Sam Altman talking about how he was just sitting around one day and he just threw out a number and went with it. And what's funny is that they said they're actually losing money with this policy because it costs so much money to produce the work that they're doing
Oh, I don't doubt it.
that they're not able to remake it back right now. So that's an interesting little feature. So we're going to find out, all right, so what exactly are the new features in the Pro?
Yeah. So you happen to have access to this, right? I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I've got 3 months access right now. And so I'm going to show you guys so that see if it's worth, shelling out that $200 a month out of your pockets.
Yeah, and after this little demo, we'll each give our opinions on who we think will benefit the most from this, get their money's worth.
Exactly. Who do we think? What is your prediction now? Who would you think would be useful for it now? Like even just regular old ChatGPT.
$200, no thank you.
Yeah. Free though, that's anybody, right?
Oh yeah, free. If it's free, then it will probably turn my head from Google Gemini.
Exactly. Now the first feature was a disruption of what we were going to do a few weeks ago or last week, right? Because you saw this nice little deep research button pop up.
Yep.
And then it just disappeared on you.
Yep.
And so what they've done is they've hidden it in the Pro feature. And so that's one of the first things that we can do to differentiate just regular old ChatGPT from deep research, which is a new feature in the Pro. Now, if you look up, what's interesting is that there are all these different models. If I can just bring this down a little bit here. Well, forget it. But anyway, the point is they're all different models that you can use. So there's ChatGPT o1, ChatGPT o4. All right, here's a couple. ChatGPT o3 mini and o1 Pro mode. And so so what you can do is you can choose these different model systems first, and then you can do deep research within each one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for Gemini, it's only in Gemini 1.5 Pro where you can do the deep research.
Yeah, exactly. So here there's a few different ones. And some of the difference between them is basically like whether you can actually put in images or put in PDFs and things like that. So right now I'm just going to go with the O1 mode. And so, all right, then it says we can ask anything. And as you can see, in this O1 mode, we can upload from computer. So we can upload a file or an image. But right now we're just going to, free ball basically. And we're going to just ask a question. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
And let us know in the chat if you guys have any questions that you want asked as well.
Yeah, so use ChatGPT, deep research ability.
Yes. And all right, so first things first. So what do you think? You got any questions?
So last week we asked Google Gemini deep research about consumer sentiment, which AI model is the most popular.
Right,
so we can see if ChatGPT has the same
Yes.
opinion. So Gemini, I think it's Gemini and Claude.
Is the most popular. All right, so it's a fairly simple response. All right, let's just go first with the regular non-deep research and just show the output. So with the regular search here, you're going to get it. It's going to just take a few seconds. It's going to be pretty quick. And then they show you here, all right, they reasoned for a few seconds. They give you some information about how they reasoned and everything. And then now they're providing their answers.
Yeah, and this is I'm looking for an opinion, consumer sentiment. I'm not looking for like an article of pros and cons of each. And again, ChatGPT. What model did you use? O1.
Yeah.
So even with one of ChatGPT's more advanced model, it inevitably said "BERT" by Google. I guess that's their transformer model, not Bard.
Yeah, that's not Bard.
But it's not Gemini. Like
Yeah.
this is not easy to read.
Yeah, this is interesting. And maybe this is a byproduct of being the O1, which is like the advanced analytical thing. And so maybe that's a good point actually. So if we want to just use if we want a simpler answer, then I could switch it over to the 4O model and ask the same thing as what is the most popular AI out there, something like that. Yeah, so see, now we're getting a lot less of a analytical answer and things like that, and so we're getting this more what you were looking for, right?
Yeah, I mean, it gave me a laundry list. But what I'm looking for is consumer sentiment. Like, look for Reddit, look for, posts. It has to be done by deep research.
All right, okay. So if you want that, then it's all about the prompt engineering. So we're not prompting in the correct way. And so we were just watching a video yesterday where it said the limitation is not the AI model, but it's you as the prompter. So clearly you have a very specific need that I am not satisfying with this prompt.
Oops.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to try to get into that further. So why don't you expand upon your question? Say that you want sentiment from the public. So what is the most popular AI model?
Based on consumer sentiment.
Consumer sentiment. And so now I'm going to click on, now I've selected the deep research, and so we're going to go from there.
Yeah, actually, we're not able to see.
I know, but unfortunately, I can try to do it, but we're just going to have to, you're going to have to see some of the sausage making in the process here. Some of the old nuts and bolts.
Yeah, so after you ask that question with deep research, it confirms that they understand you're asking.
Yeah, that's what's pretty cool is that they want to know exactly what you want to know. And it gives you a chance now to reconfirm what's going on. So when you first ask the question in the normal ChatGPT without deep research, it just spits out an answer right away. But the deep research asks these clarifying questions.
Yeah, so the clarifying question is, are you looking for consumer sentiment based on social media discussions, surveys, reviews, or other source? Also, do you want sentiment data on general user satisfaction, trust, or concerns about AI models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Midjourney, etc.? I've never even heard of this Midjourney.
Yeah, I have.
You have.
But I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so this is very similar to Gemini 1.5 Pro deep research. Gemini also asks you a question before it goes on to do this deep research.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
to clarify, make sure they got your question correct. So shall we begin?
Yeah, so now, but we actually now need to respond. And so we would say, yes, I am looking
Also, I want
for Reddit.
Yeah.
Oh, you just want to know what it does without interference or what?
Yes, but I also want to know beyond just ChatGPT, Gemini, and Midjourney, like everything. Why is it excluding Claude?
Well, they're just saying model. That's what the etc. means.
Okay.
They're going to do it all. They're going to do it all.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking for Reddit posts and other social media sentiment. I want general satisfaction information for all models and concerns about safety. I know that's your favorite thing.
Yeah. Ethics. All
Yep.
that.
All right. So now it's going to do its thing here, and it's going to analyze it. And just like with Gemini, it's going to take a while to do it. And so we'll start on something else while it's doing its research. So as you can see here, it's analyzing the sentiment from Reddit. It's telling you what it's going to do, and it's getting ready to start its deep research. Okay, so in the meantime, we're going to load up another. While that's doing that, I want to play around with something called the operator.
Oh my God.
Which is a really wild new feature.
Yeah, so people don't come pay $200 for deep research. That's a little steep. You can just pay $20 for Gemini's deep research.
Exactly.
Well, we'll compare that after ChatGPT is done here. But people pay $200 for this operator.
Yes. And so what is the operator? It's kind of like a personal secretary. So when I load up the operator here it goes. It says, what can I help you do? And once again, there is an attachment here. So one thing was really cool is I actually, I was able to attach an image. And I asked it, count the number of yellow neurons that you see in this image. And it actually, so then it was like loading up websites to be able to count things. And it processed the image and it was selecting, and then it said, all right, there are 18 neurons. And I said, put a number next to each one of them so that I can prove that you're actually doing that. So then it went through this whole process of trying to download like ImageJ on the desktop version. And then it was like so it does a lot of work to be able to try to meet your goals. And
that would have been really helpful like 10 years ago for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could have.
I did it all by hand.
Yeah, exactly. You sat there and counted neural blasts or whatever by hand. You could have just said, hey, count these in this image.
Please.
Exactly. And so as you can see here, there are several different events here. So dining, delivery, local services, shopping, travel, and then I haven't explored what the news is, but summarize the latest news. What is the latest basketball news? Actually, I would like to know what that is. So find the latest basketball news. Find the latest basketball news.
Yeah, and once you're hands off, let everyone know.
Yeah, so right now I'm hands off. It's doing it, and as you can see here, it's opening up this browser.
So Iguana Dan is saying something about the audio.
It's doing it, and as you can see here, it's opening up this browser.
So Iguana Dan is saying something about the audio. Oh, are you asking if ChatGPT is producing an audio? Or is there something wrong with our audio?
I don't know.
Oh, bit low for him. Can you raise it?
Oh yeah, sorry, I can raise it. Last week we had a different thing, and it was too loud. Sorry, I can raise it. Last week we had a different thing, and it was. Yeah, that's better now.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So, all right. So this seems like it popped up some controversial news.
So now you're taking control.
Well, I'm not yet, but it's asking me to take control. So then what's cool is that you can press this button that says take control, and I can say, no, I don't want that. All right. Then I would say, all right, I want news from the NBA. I've never looked at this news function before, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, you got to tell everyone when you're. But it seems like you can't help yourself but to be hands-on.
Well, no, but But see, the thing is, you got to look in here. I'm trying to make it so that we can see. So now I'm hands off. I'm not doing anything, and it's doing all this for us right now. Mm-hmm. And it's looking at. It's just delayed what you're looking at. You got to look at over here. Okay, so it says, I found the latest NBA news about the Warriors-Mavericks game, an article posted 32 minutes ago. Would you like me to open it and provide a link?
Yep.
And so then I would say, yes. I want them to open it. Okay, so now it's going through all right, so now it's going through, and going to open up the article. So it's opened it up in a new tab, and it's found an article for us. And you can see here it's opening. If we open up here, it actually goes through this different thought process. And it's like, here is the article. And then you can always click on this button here, which is take control, and then it allows you to go through and type in. Now, the take control is most important if you actually need to sign into something. Like if you need to sign in to password, put a password in.
Yeah. I think what people really want to see is this freaky experience where you're telling the operator to like buy something for you.
Well, yeah, I know. Like I said, the news is something that I've never tried before, and I was curious. And honestly, the news feature is completely useless, I would say, because it's just not good. And there's like if you're searching for news, you're gonna know what you're looking for. So that was pretty pathetic. So I would give that a big thumbs down on the news. I tried that for the first time. Now here's the shopping, right?
Yeah.
So this is where, all right, I want to buy the latest, what is it?
Scotty Cameron putter.
Scotty Cameron putter. The Newport 2. Okay, so here, now we've said, all right, I want to buy something, right? It's just, I have to keep doing it because it's moving it so that nobody can see anything. That's why I have to keep moving it.
Okay. So what is it doing now?
So now it's opened up this it's going pretty fast now. So it's opened up the operator browser.
So basically this little hand is your cursor, but this little black cursor is the operator's cursor.
Yeah.
It's moving on its own.
Exactly. And look at that. It's already loaded up the website, and it's loaded up the Newport 2 putter.
Do you think you can open up the operator browser bigger? I guess nobody can see it. Is that what you're saying?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, so like you're seeing the flashing of the operator browser, and that's the ChatGPT operator moving on its own, searching for the Scotty Cameron putter.
Yeah, the point is it's a small browser within your other browser. You can open it up here, but then it puts it over to the side here. And see, what's interesting is that you can actually go and show, all right, so you want to go live, or it records it with different screenshots, and so you can go back into the past as to what it was doing. And then at any point you could then jump live, go back to live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess this might be a little bit better of a feature. Now there's a lot of videos on this particular website. So now it has it set up where it's there. Now what's interesting is that this particular putter isn't even available to purchase yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't actually go through and buy it. But it says the latest website, it's the release date of February 25th. So soon, on Tuesday, I'll be able to schedule this.
Hi, would you would you use the operator to input your credit card number and everything?
Well, that's the scary part. But the point is that if you were to do that, that's when you would go through and you would take control. So I've just clicked on the take control button, and it's about to give me control. And so then I can go through now and click on anything. And so this is where I would be able to, accept all cookies.
Yeah.
And then I could go through and put in my credit card information.
Yeah, I guess for shopping, I'm thinking about for my use. One thing I would do if I have an operator is I would tell it to buy a specific model, let's say a pair of shoes. Find the cheapest vendor that offer this exact model of this exact size and open it so that I don't have to compare.
Yeah, so for doing simple tasks, this operator you can just do that yourself. But that's why, once again, it has to go beyond your imagination. Like, you are the limiting factor.
Yeah.
You have to come up with something that's extremely difficult that you would never even do yourself. That's why you can't even think of it on the spot, because it's like, oh, I would never even want to do anything so time consuming.
Yeah, and like JBCB just said scheduling. Yeah, scheduling is pain.
Yes.
An operator potentially could comb through all that data.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like I don't want to go through it right now because this is all linked to my personal stuff, and that's why I'm not showing the most useful things. But it's really nice to be able to it can access your calendar, and then you can just say, all right, I need to set an appointment for this date, that date, this date.
Remind me to buy that putter on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
and that's what I did yesterday. I set a reminder for 8 a.m. on Tuesday to buy the putter.
Yeah.
And things like that, and it's able to go through and do that.
Shall we go back to the deep research, see how that's going?
Yes. Okay, so the deep research here is done.
So on the right, is it like a list of...
So the right is the thought process that it was going through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it was, and it's actually kind of fun. It's called activity. And I like to look through and see the different activities that it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It says, I'm looking into Reddit and social media. Yes, look over here. Stop looking over there. All right, I'm looking into Reddit and social media, and I'm like, all right, I'm searching ChatGPT versus Claude, gathering insights and things like that. And so it went through this whole process, and it actually accessed 32 different sources.
Yeah, this is just like Gemini deep research.
Yep.
It tells you the source.
Exactly. And then it goes through over here, and it's starting to look at, all right, what are the overall satisfaction levels? So we can close this to get rid of that, and so that we can start looking at here. And what I really like about the way that this does it is that it actually adds in the links right there.
Yeah, citations.
The citations right there, and even better, when you click on the citation, it actually loads up and highlights, oops.
Yeah, this is different than Gemini. Gemini doesn't have that.
It loads up and highlights the region. Yeah, there's a lot of advertisements on all these articles that it promotes, but
yeah, just go back.
I got it here. It loads it up in purple and highlights the exact region that it gathered that information from.
Yeah, so you know it's a lot more factual. Yeah, so the LLM, the issues with LLM is sometimes they'll just tell you something that's false. Like I've run into that issue a lot more often than I like. And even in Gemini Deep Research, there's one time I found that it cited information from that article, but that's not corresponding to my query. So that's kind of a little bit concerning for me to not have to do all the fact checking all over again on my own.
Yeah, and even this will say it'll make wrong conclusions, but you can actually see the original source of the data.
Yeah.
Check it for yourself and say, oh, actually, this is not the right conclusion to draw from this information.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, we see that all the time just in scientific papers, right? Or, you know, they cite something and then you look through the paper and it was never even said that or something like that. So this is interesting. Overall, all right. So anyway, then if you look, it goes through quite a detailed synopsis of all the different ones. So you've got ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, this Mid-Journey, which is interesting. Stable Diffusion. So it's got all these different things, and now it's looking at different praises and common complaints. So here, your complaint about ChatGPT, they say sometimes the quality fluctuates. Message cap and speed for 4. So there's sometimes with these models, they have a lot of limitations in the free model system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or the tokens, like you can only ask a certain amount of questions,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'd have to pay for it. All right, here, why don't you provide some feedback?
ChatGPT too restrictive / censored at times. It refuses certain requests due to content policy, which can frustrate those attempting, often against the rules, to get edgy or disallow content. This has even led to jailbreak prompts circulating to bypass filters, indicating some dissatisfaction with the strict safety filters. Claude. Oh my God, users' main complaints about Claude revolve around verbosity.
Yeah. It's supposed to be verbose, though. Isn't it supposed to be the major language model?
I just, now it's complaining about Gemini. It's still calling Gemini Bard, even there's really no reason. It's almost like it's trying to,
Throw shade.
yeah, like cut it down to size, bring up its Bard history or
Yeah.
something. And said a top concern has been accuracy. Bard famously stumped by giving a wrong answer in its debut demo. Bard.
Yeah, so maybe it can't even criticize Gemini too much, so it has to poke at Bard.
Yeah, I mean, I am a little bit dissatisfied with ChatGPT Deep Research's answer because it's too verbose.
Yeah, and also the timing is a little bit odd because, if they're continuing referencing all this Bard, then maybe, I don't know what their cutoff is. Sometimes the cutoffs could be, 2022 or 2023 with their knowledge cutoffs.
Yeah, so I feel like the good thing about Gemini is there is no such thing. Sometimes when I prompt Gemini, it would tell me as of 2023, this is this and this is that.
Yeah.
But in general, I don't feel that there is a time limit for Gemini.
Yeah. No, that's true. It seems to give the most up-to-date information. So it seems like you're not sold yet.
Well, let's say if I were to do homework and I need to do deep research on a topic, I would... Sorry, Cannoli.
Yeah, Cannoli is here playing with her lammy.
If I have the resource, use both Gemini and ChatGPT to get the sources, but I probably wouldn't listen to ChatGPT's opinions because I just feel like it's not reflective of my reality.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Well, so I'll tell you what I found in my personal experience with doing like scientific research with ChatGPT Deep Research. I thought it was extremely good at doing it, and it provided a much more detailed answer than Gemini does.
Maybe it's not good for opinion piece, but it's good for like...
Well, yeah, once again, I used the O1. That this is what gets even more important, that this is supposed to be analytical, advanced reasoning. Mm-hmm. If you're wanting these personal opinions, which I keep forgetting, then we got to use the different model systems.
Oh.
That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess that's a really important thing to say and describe. And I couldn't do it before, but now I think people will be able to see it. So when you're able to select the different model systems, yeah, it's critically important that you know exactly what you're doing. So, see, this 4.0 is great for most questions. Then you can even have 4.0 with scheduled tasks to follow up with later. 0.1 is this advanced reasoning. And then things like that, whereas this 0.3 is better for coding and logic and stuff like that. So for these types of questions that you've asked us today, we needed to be using this 4.0 model.
Yeah.
It's going to give us more opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was asking the questions and I was like, all right, what are the, neural circuits involved in this and that?
Yeah.
Then it was like, and I want Google Scholar and all that, and it provided that to me. And it gave me the scientific communication that I wanted.
Yep.
So you don't want that when you're asking about these personal opinions.
Nope. I need short, succinct opinions.
Yeah, exactly. So 4.0 for a lot of that stuff, and then 1.0 if you're trying to get a deep, advanced reasoning. Things like that. Yeah, so anyway, that's just a little bit of a taste of what these things offer. Now, I agree with you. I wouldn't say yet that deep research is 10 times better than the research for Gemini Advanced, right? So Gemini Advanced, you pay $20 a month, as opposed to this $200 a month. Now, right now, they don't have anything that's similar to the operator yet. And admittedly, this operator, as you know, Michelle, as you could see with her impatience, the operator is sluggish and slow.
A little buggy.
It's buggy. It's kind of, it's like watching me manipulate a computer, basically. but I think it's going to get better. And I think once it gets better, and if you can start saving your passwords, and if you have less concerns about security, it's going to be extremely useful.
Or you just want someone to do your busy work, like putting information on Excel spreadsheet. Nobody likes
No, yeah, but I don't know that it can do that just yet.
Yes, it can.
How do you know?
I've seen the demo on YouTube.
So all right, but the point is you have to have all that information. In order for it to do Excel, you have to have a Word account and everything.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is that I found the operator is really good at figuring out how to do things for free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like I said, I asked it to do the image processing, and it goes on the internet and asks for free whatever. So the operator would look for, all right, what is a free spreadsheet that I can make? Mm-hmm. It's not going to necessarily use Excel. That's my point.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not Excel, but Google Sheet or something. Mm-hmm. I swear I've seen people do that on YouTube.
Well, yes, I understand that, and I'm not discounting that can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like let's say you're doing your taxes and you have documentation of a bunch of numbers that you just written down in like Notion or something. Maybe you could organize that into a spreadsheet.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's where I haven't fully explored, but you can do the attach function.
Yeah.
So you could attach a document in there with a series of numbers and say, hey, organize this into a sheet. Yeah. Now, the point is, what I'm trying to say is that in order to make it hands-free, it has to access something that you don't need to sign into. Because you need to sit there and sign into every single thing that requires a login.
Oh, so you should sign into everything already.
Yeah, and I don't know yet if it can save that information. And that's one of the limitations. So that's what we need to figure out. Can you save it? And that's where security gets into effect and things like that. Because you could, once you put in your credit card information and it saves, then somebody can say, hey, buy me this. Somebody else could go in there and write like, hey, buy me the latest, Chanel bag or something like that. And then you put that into my operator, and then sure enough, it's going to go and do it.
Yep.
And we'll be seeing it show up.
And you'll be seeing your overdraft on your bank account.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, another thing that's kind of concerning to me is the operators doing all these mundane tasks, right, that a person can do. And my question is, how much energy it's consuming?
Yeah, that's what what's his name said. Sam Altman said right now the cost is way more than what they're making, even at $200 a month.
Yeah.
But these things, I think somebody's got to do it first, and then it's going to get better. It's going to get more efficient. It's going to get better at moving. The thing that was really scary to me is I logged into LinkedIn because I wanted it to send a bunch of emails out to people. Mm-hmm. And it actually was able to pass the test for determining, is this a human?
Oh my God, one of those traffic light or which image is best?
Yeah, so the particular thing that it passed was like, what image is the right side up or something like that. And they had a cat, and they had cats in all different angles.
I have no idea if I can get that right.
Yeah, and it was able to determine which one was correct. Now, I was wrong because I couldn't remember my password. When I took over, I failed. But the machine, like proving it was a human, was able to do that without me. So that was kind of interesting.
I think this is really promising.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like these kind of tasks really like they're holding us back from doing the real important work, but they can be automated by something like an operator or what people like to call AI agent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because these are really not the important tasks, like remembering our passwords or like get the right side up cat correctly.
Yep. And then here's one, book a table for two at a romantic French bistro.
I'm still waiting. I've been talking about that all week.
I know. I've been saying that we're going to do this.
Are you going to blame the operator, say it cannot book that?
Yeah.
That's why it hasn't shown up yet?
Exactly. But the reality is the operator did a great job of loading it up. I didn't even know there was a French bistro near us. It was able to find a couple of them, and it found the openings, and it was like, oh, we found two for, next Thursday at 8 p.m. Here's this table. Would you like to set this? And so all I'd had, yeah, exactly. We can get some escargot.
Oh, and hey, can we do that?
Sure, yeah. We had some escargot a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, at Cape Cod.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah, so it's I literally just got access to this recently, and so we're just in the process of exploring it. And also, as we've discussed in the past about these models, they put them out even when there's still a lot of bugs for people to test.
Yeah, it's
on their
going
own.
to be filled with mistakes and frustrations, but the important thing is that separate our audience and the people who are the naysayers.
Yes.
Is we're going to see the positives out of these technology.
Exactly.
Because the bugs will be fixed and it will be fantastic.
Yes.
And if someone, I've had a colleague of mine in the past go to ChatGPT, prompted maybe a few times, and just concluded that every answer from an AI looked the same, therefore you shouldn't use it. Now, if they still feel this way today, they will be behind.
Yeah, exactly. So there are a lot of early users that were just frustrated and just laughed at it and said, "Oh, this is pathetic," or "This sounds robotic," and things like that. And though, if you have that impression, you should check out what's going on these days because it's remarkable. And actually, somebody showed a growth where human intelligence is just kind of basically flatlined for thousands of years now, or I wouldn't say thousands, but let's just say for hundreds of years. Yeah, exactly. And these AI models are studying this exponential growth, and so we need to keep an eye on that. All right, well, I think that's what we had for you guys today.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
I mean, we did quarrel a little bit, so.
Yeah, we had a little quarreling, and Cannoli is trying to mediate that.
Yeah.
She's right here.
Yeah.
But anyway, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. If you guys want to see anything, feel free to leave a comment, and I think we will be able to explore. So some of the things that are on our docket are Adobe Firefly. Yeah, so for content creation, that may be really good. And I've been really enjoying Claude.
Yes, Claude.
Yeah, so despite what ChatGPT Deep Research said, I think Claude is going to be amazing.
Yes, and yeah, it's really interesting. It's a different type of model system, and we haven't explored it yet, so that's probably something we'll do next week.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oops. Where's my... Well, anyway, you get to hang out with us while we figure this out. Yes, thank you, Iguana Dan.